9 o'clock, it's shining bright. Turn the dial and feel the might. Just enough Heshy takes flight. Woo! Laughs and wisdom side by side. Heshy show won't be denied. Tune in live and ride the tide. Feel the rush and feel the pride. It's just enough Heshy. Wanna vote for Heshy? It's just enough Heshy. Join the crowd, it's messy.
Hello, everybody. I can't hear myself. Why? I don't know. And welcome to another Just Heshy show. Can I please hear myself? I wish I could. Because I don't believe I even hear you on the microphone. Anyways, he's screaming at me not to talk bad about him. Anyways, everybody, welcome to the show. It's going to be a good show. Of course, we're going to talk about Trump. Of course, we're going to talk about election. Of course, we're going to talk about the campaign and his cabinet. And it looks like I am not even on the radio. Oh, gosh, I'm not even plugged in. Isn't that funny? No, can't hear myself. Oh, now I can hear myself. He says I'm a dumbbell. I didn't know how to plug it in correctly. How do you call your father a dumbbell? I don't know. I guess I didn't give enough. Can you start my YouTube, please? My dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, already they're fighting and trying to knock people out of the cabinet. Already they're acting crazy. We're going to talk about AOC, this wacko retard. She actually started articles of impeachment against our Supreme Court justices. She has no chance. This shows you the waste of time and money. The kind of money we're paying her, and she gets up there to put articles of impeachment, which are never going to happen. It's not only impossible that the Congress would even allow it, the new Congress. Okay, we'll talk about that idiot later. And not because she's a woman, because I'm so proud of many of Trump's picks who are women. As you know, the election, we know, happened on November the 5th, and Trump won by a landslide, which I told all of you that. But my election starts. You're right, the mayor doesn't call it till January, and there's been a lot of talk and speculation and money. So I have accomplished my feat of raising the monies needed for my campaign. I did accomplish. Thank you all out there for helping me get to my goal. Of course, it's not over because there's round 2 that starts during the election, starts another election. So I am going to still come out and cry to you. Let's see. Let me see who's in there. Oh, Infant Justice, welcome to the show. I think you're the only one. Hello, baby. I want you to know, New York City's in a crisis. Everybody's telling me, you can run for Congress and run for the state Senate seat if somebody leaves. Do this, Heshy, keep your job. I mean, let me just tell you what I do on a daily basis. And I'm not bragging to you. And I'm so proud of Donald Trump as well. Here's a man who just doesn't stop. Doesn't stop. You know, he had a meeting in Florida with President Biden. Then he flew, in Washington. He flew into Washington. Then he flew back. He met people. This is a man who doesn't stop. He's picking already almost his entire cabinet. He's trying to figure out, and people in Mar-a-Lago are leaking stuff. I mean, this is crazy. People are trying to hurt the president. Some people are even saying that Russia is blackmailing President Trump. I mean, it just doesn't end. We're back to the Russia collusion thing. We have to stop this. We have to work together. We have to make this city better. We just sometimes keep on going through strife and issues, and it's just, I don't know, some of us just want troubles and problems, and I'm not happy about it. And we're going to start our show. I'm going to welcome in all the other listeners. And I'm going to welcome him right now. I'd like to welcome our listeners at WSNR 620 AM radio. Welcome to the show. Welcome WNEW 102.7 FM HD3. Welcome to our show and all the Zeb Brenner listeners on his station. And of course, 1640 AM WJPR. I always used to get your station wrong. Welcome. I love you, Florida guys. And I'm coming down there again after I win the election. I don't know if I have time to come down because I'll be working and busy. I am running, besides what we're going to talk about, but I want to get myself out of the way. And I'd like to do a quick commercial, if you don't mind. HeshyTishler.com. Or whatever commercial he puts up. Who cares? Which one is he putting up first? Who cares? Let's see what he puts up, and then we'll talk about that. Green Line Building Solutions. That's my company. Do you know what I did today? I had a meeting with a chief inspector, did a pre-inspection for somebody, lifted a vacate order, worked with somebody who had a court case. 718-871-0382. 718-871-0382, 202 Forest Avenue. Come on by. You know, I had a guy here today arguing with me. Well, if I do nothing, my friends are telling me to do nothing. I said, do nothing. City's coming after you. And I know from inside information, all those DOB guys who came after the Jewish community, and a lot of you New Yorkers, they were pushed aside and they were stopped after we caught them. Now they're coming back afterwards against you. They're raising fines. They're issuing frivolous violations. I mean, I have a guy today who has 3 of identical, the same violations. Anyways, 718-871-0382. If you want somebody to help you, listen to me. I will help you. Sometimes you don't listen to me and you'll get more in trouble. HeshyTishler.com. Really. Heshy, just check me out. I'm making the website better. Within the next week or 2, you're going to have a really good professional website with all my pictures. I don't need your donation now. In about a week or 2, because Campaign Finance Board told me not to collect any more money till they fix their site. Here's a guy... I don't even know. Campaign Finance Board doesn't even have their act together. Anyways, HeshyTishler.com. In about a week or 2, I'll ask for money again. But right now, we did good. And I want to thank all of you, all you listeners, all my friends, all my clients, everybody who came out to support me. I'm ready. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm here, my dear friends. So if you think I'm not ready. And then finally, I want to give you my last commercial. The estate exchange. He's such a nice man. Really, Linda and me sometimes squabble and quarrel about money and kids. By the way, my kids who don't like coming to my house lately, I have no idea why. Because I maybe bully them and I make them still set their tables when they're married. Anyways, the estate exchange. Linda, I just bought you some earrings. I'm trying to put together some money for a little bracelet. I know I'm broke. Fine jewelry, rare estate pieces, specializes in exchange of fine metals. 5303 12th Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. 5303 12th Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. 917-721-0119. Let me repeat it. 917-721-0119. 5303 12th Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. Check them out on the web, www.nyc-gold.com, www.nyc-gold.com. You know, so like I was telling you, my kids, sometimes they don't like to come to me because I make even the married kids work. You know what I mean? I make everybody set the tables. I make everybody do everything. And all of a sudden today I get a call from my youngest son and his wife. We want to come to you, Heshy. And he says, Dad, I said, are you sure you called the right family? Usually you like the other side, you know. But, yeah, they're coming, and I'm going to make them my spaghetti, my baked spaghetti. I'm telling you, this is the best recipe you can ever get. I know you guys are laughing. Oh, my God, you don't know how to spaghetti, and you Italian guys think, first of all, I grew up with the Italians. So I know what spaghetti is, okay? And let me tell you, I do is simple. I put the spaghetti out. In one box of spaghetti, I cut like about 3 fresh mushrooms, slice them thin on top. I take a can of tomato paste, I put it on top. Take some little red cherry tomatoes, I cut it in some olive oil. I spread over a very nice, generous bunch of olive oil. You know what I mean? Then you can put some spice and stuff, but I don't really like to do that. And and I put some parsley on top. You can do anything you want. And then I pour a cup of water just to cover everything over nicely, and I put it in the preheated oven at 350 degrees. Listen to me. Leave it in there I usually leave it there for 30 minutes to 45 minutes. You take it out, you mix it together, you sprinkle the whole top cheese. I love cheese. Mozzarella cheese, shredded cheese, whatever you want. I sprinkle it nice and generously. Somebody put it back in just for it to melt, not overdo it. This week, while I was doing it in the morning, Linda had an argument with me about doing the washing and the drying, so I started doing that, and then I ran downstairs and I forgot. Linda started screaming at me, "You left your spaghetti in the oven." And I said, "Take it out for me," and it came out, and I really saw her in the morning eating my spaghetti. You mix it together with the cheese. It's delicious. It's the most best bacon. You do it in a glass little baking pan. Wow. Beautiful. And it's easy to clean afterwards. Anyways, now that I give you my recipe. New York City has problems. And we're going after Trump again. And we're going after this. I'm so proud of Trump's whole cabinet, you know. And I'm going to talk about his cabinet and who he picked. And a lot of people are already fighting. You already have a Senator Collins who's going after Matt Gaetz, who is a great congressman who questioned. You're right. He gave a hard time for Congressman McCarthy to throw him off. But this is a guy who believes in America. And they tried to get him on sexual, whatever it is. They just go after the people who have a chance or who want to make changes. And like me, I'm going after the DOB. I'm ready for them. I'm watching myself. I've prepared my monies. I have treasurers, campaigns. I never carry money in my pocket anymore. I'm so scared. Every dollar that comes, we mark. I'm so careful with everything now because I know they're watching and trying to get me, my competitors, even our campaign. Anytime they give us donation, they question it. We said, okay, you don't like it? We're done with it. We won't accept it as additional funds or matching funds or whatever it is. And we then went and got other people and went out to campaign again. I am making sure that my paperwork is clean. And even now, we submitted some paperwork for a guy who got in trouble. And they all said, "Oh, fraud." I said, "What are you talking about? We put the paperwork together. If you see a mistake, it's not fraud. We'll fix it." I want to give some shout outs to my delicious friend Ellie, Sergeant Peter, you're wonderful, and my beautiful granddaughter Mira Navas, so cool. I went to visit her. I took them out to lunch this Sunday. Layla Tamar, Benjamin Hill, they all moved to Passaic, New Jersey. I'm not too happy about that. He's building this beautiful big mansion. And Ahuva, I love you, my beautiful granddaughter, and of course my oldest grandson, Yeshua, who's starting to talk. And yes, he says Big H. It cost me like 3 lollipops, but he says Big H. I want to start the show. I want to give you a quote. I can't release a cookbook, Infinite Justice, but I have so many good recipes, Even my corn on the cob, by the way, I do it with butter, but not really because I can't do butter with corn on the cob and meat, so I do it with margarine. Then I cook it. Then I take it out and I put it back on with a light salt. People just love my corn on the cob. I learned that trick in Israel many years ago when I was a little kid. I want to give you my quote. Great quote. I believe in looking at the world with gentle eyes. What others think or say matters less than the love and kindness we give. I choose to serve others with grace, to find beauty and simplicity, and to accept life's journey as it unfolds when we focus on giving rather than receiving, on helping rather than judging. Everything becomes lighter and more meaningful. You're right. I do scream at other people. I'm harsh. I say things, but I still want to see the gentle and kindness of others. And when I don't, I will give them a piece of my mind. I'm always giving. I'm always trying. You know, you're going to tell me, Heshy, well, you have your duty with the radio show, your soup kitchen. You always make you believe you're busy. Let me tell you something. I never want to stop helping others because of not only what I taught that from my father, the Holocaust survivor, but what I've seen others do. You know, this week I had to go to a bar mitzvah. My great-nephew called me himself. I'm getting 13. Uncle Heshy, you've got to come. I said, you know, you're in Lakewood, New Jersey. It's a Sunday night. You know, my wife, we have so many things to do on a Sunday. I just came from Passaic, New Jersey. I was tired of driving. He says, you got to come. Okay, no problem. I get a call that I volunteer for a company, for an organization called Bicker Cholim, that we help people not well. They get free wheelchairs. You can borrow walkers, and we give rides to people who don't have rides, or the buses take too long, or they need to go to special locations. And there was one special needs person that needed a ride for me to pick up his daughter from the school and take him to Queens. And I said, well, I'm going to bar mitzvah. We have nobody. It's going to cost us $200. I got in my car, drove to the local school. I had to pick her up because they didn't trust her. Drove her to Queens, an hour. Got through, and then I never saw this route. I had to take my car to the Manhattan Midtown Tunnel, to the Lincoln Tunnel, to the George Washington Bridge, and trust me, forget the tolls. I made it to the bar mitzvah by 8 o'clock, an hour late, and of course I spoke. While I was there, you're not going to believe it, one of my nieces tells me that one of the great, my nieces had a baby, and I have to be in Lakewood tomorrow morning. I said, well, I got to go home and come back. It's too hard. And then I got a text from a friend of mine, a very good friend, that my good buddy for 44 years, Menachem Wiedemann, who did a lot of charity. He was my friend, who was like somebody who always gave me just happiness. He helped the people in his synagogue. He helped the people in his community. He was just a good man, good to his stepchildren. He was a 59 years old, and he passed away. And the funeral was in Lakewood, so I called up my son, and I said, Yaakov, I got to crash on your couch, otherwise I'm going to sleep in the car. And everybody's laughing at me. Well, you could afford a hotel. Well, in Lakewood, a hotel is like 20 miles away, which I have no problem, and I get up 6 in the morning. But, I'd rather have crashed by him. I was there, it was midnight. And so I crashed over there, he gave me a robe, whatever, and some sheets. And the next day, I got up for the bris, went to the funeral, came home, did my day's job, and then went to a wedding that night. I want you to know something. This is what I do every day. It's not something new. Yeah, I know I'm pitching my campaign. I got it. We should be talking about the news and Trump and all that. You got to have the energy. I'm telling you, Donald Trump has that energy and 10 times more. I have the energy. I've been primed and trained for this time. This is my time. I need you to come help me. Forget the money now. Come volunteer for me on election day. Come volunteer when I'm asking for signatures for those 2 weeks. I could use 20, 30 volunteers to come out and just go out and get me 100 signatures. How hard is that for you? Take 10 pages, go knocking on doors and get me 100 signatures. What should it take you, a day or two? Come out. Get me elected and I'll show you what I could do. We're going to give Trump a chance. We're going to talk about his cabinet. Anyways, I thought you liked my quote. And if you want to call into the show, 646-974-1580. 646-974-1580. I'm here. Here's my joke. I hope he laughs at it. I thought it was funny. And anyways, here it goes. You know about the Democrats and Republicans, how stupid they are. Well, relax. Here's a real problem. I was invited to speak at a college class. Students, freshmen. And what came up was the presidency. And if you could run a second term and how old you are. And I told them, and they knew the law, 35 years old, and you have to be a natural-born citizen. Anyways, one of the young girls got up and started to rant and rave. And I let her. She started screaming at me. It's unfair that the requirement that you have to be a natural-born citizen. I mean, she says there's so many people who are not naturally born that are qualified for the job. Why take away the qualifications just because you have to be naturally born? What happens why can't somebody be president who came out of a C-section? And I sat down in my chair and I says, oh my God, she is just stupid. I mean, come on, laugh at that. Really, come on, please laugh at that. I mean, besides that it was funny, I mean, she actually didn't understand what natural-born citizen, and she's a college girl. Half of these idiots that protest don't know what they're protesting about. Palestine, Israel. One of the top picks for ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, I saw him on television at a press conference, and he says, West Bank is not the West Bank, it's Judea and Samaria. And settlements are not settlements, they're cities and communities and towns. He says, no, no, we're not giving it back. It belongs to Israel. That is a man who knows of all the years of hardship. You know, some of the Palestinians say, well, you're not Palestinian, even though your grandmother who came from Poland, my family has been there forever. It's not true. They also immigrated from other countries. Israel is not going to give up. I don't know how President Trump is going to get those hostages back, but he's got to do something. We got to go in there. And my plan is just go blow up Iran. Blow up their oil fields, blow up their nuclear things, get their people angry at them. Once you destroy Iran, the hub of the leaders of all these terrorist organizations, the other Arab communities that are scared will come together. You will see better peace. And you see already what Trump is doing with Ukraine. It's not a complicated story, Ukraine. Everybody thinks it's hard to stop the war. All you have to do is tell Ukraine, listen, Russia just doesn't want you to go to NATO. They don't want NATO. Stop. No NATO, you get everything back. That is the simplicity of the plan. Even the new UN ambassador, Stephanie, I forgot her name. It's very hard for me to pronounce. What's her name? It's Stephanie, Elise Stefanik. She says no. She's changing her mind on Ukraine. No more money to Ukraine. It's not that we won't give them money. We'll give them money to rebuild. But we're not giving them money for war anymore. Let's stop the war. And let me give you the history of this war. You hear that, John? I want you to hear the history of the war, John, by YouTube. History is simple. When America in 1990 came to Russia and said, listen, we want to unite Germany. Russia said, okay, but no NATO past a certain part. And then what did we do? We allowed NATO to go into Poland and Slovakia and Hungary. You're right. They need the protection. They're great countries. But we promised to stop NATO over there. Now NATO is going to Ukraine on the border of Russia. Russia says, please, I don't want an army on my thing, whether it's an army, and it's a European army, a worldwide army. They don't want it. Stop that. The war is over. Simple. And I think that's Trump's plan. I want the world to be at peace. You know, God punished us and took Trump away and said, listen, you had a good life. I didn't see you doing good, so I want to teach you a little lesson. And he gave us the COVID, which was fake, and he gave us a crazy president and a vice president. Did you ever hear her talk? Really? I was watching some of her clips over the last week, and I'm shocked that the Democrats even thought about her for a moment. What kind of wackos really listened to her? I mean, we should be ashamed that she was even the candidate. Forget how she got there. I mean, you should hear the way she spoke, the way she laughed. She didn't understand what she was talking about. Talking about the border. I've never been to the border, but we're going to figure out a way to make mass immigration legal, but not legal. She says Trump's border wall is fictitious. You have any other plan? And you know, this guy who is just appointed the border czar, Tom Homan. Wow. And so somebody said to him, it's going to cost $88 billion a year to mass deportation. And he said, we're not going to deport everybody, but all the criminals. And they said, are you going to break up families? He says, no, we'll deport them, the whole family. He says, but sometimes you are deporting one person. And he gave a great answer. He said, and this AOC is saying it's illegal. He says it's not illegal. He quoted the law of illegal immigration. And he says to her, if a guy is driving in his car, if he's driving in his car, and he has his kid in the car and he's caught drunk driving and he's being arrested, they will separate him from his kid. Same thing over here. You come in illegally, and she said to him, well, how do you do it legally? He says, go to one of the border crossings, the right legal entry, and request asylum. Go through the process. He's right, and Trump is right. They're coming in like crazy. You have terrorists coming in here, and Trump is going to stop this. He says we're turning into Europe like Paris or England. Crazy protests in the street, stupid protests. He's going to stop it. He's going to stop those colleges from doing those stupid things or take away their grants and monies. What did I read now? Hundreds of wanted posters at New York colleges accuse Jewish faculty of supporting ethnic cleansing. This goes against everything we stand for. We have an obligation to reject it. I mean, I don't understand how we're allowing this. But you rip down the posters of the hostages. We're teaching kids, and you heard my joke, and they don't even know what they're talking about. I'm planning on going to law school at night and on Sundays to get my law degree, even though I'm 60 years old. I'll be 61. I'm going to be sitting with a bunch of idiots. I know it. I'm going to be able to crush them in any debate. That's not a question. But I'm just going to go there, and I'd like to hear more about it, see what they're studying. But I'm going to get my law degree just for phase 4 of my life. But I'm going to win the election, and I'm going to be ready to defend my city. You know, our city council just is too busy fighting the mayor on proposals and his committees when they should be working on budgets. They should be looking over all the 300 government agencies for corruption. They should be working with the police. Instead, they're busy, so upset that the mayor has more power than them. Why didn't you enact a law that you can throw out a mayor and have the people repeal the election? They don't want to do that because all of them want to become mayor. Let's do some simple stuff. Let's do the election. As you know, the final results, 312 electoral votes to 226 for Harris. Trump against Harris. I was right. I don't have to brag about it. But it's interesting, and I'm going to give you the vote total. 75.5 million to her, what? 64 million? Oh, I'm sorry. They changed the number to 72 million. He still beat her by 4 million votes. Not possible that she even got that many. And how many Democrats did it? Why did you vote for her? I still don't see why. Trump is no good. Trump should be indicted. And we're going to talk about that how he's going to beat those indictments now. And they have to wipe it up. But they're still trying to go after him for $130,000. Rudy Giuliani, they bankrupted him for $140 million because he spoke bad about somebody. People speak bad about me all the time. I should sue them across the board. I mean, the New York Post actually made a false article, and the video shows they were false, and they even posted it. And they said I tried to bribe somebody with a corned beef sandwich. I should sue them for $148 million. The House of Representatives, we finally got 218 to the 209. There's still a couple more to be picked. I think another 8 or 9 more to go. And the Congress is now in control of the Republicans. And here's the trifecta. 53 senators to 47 senators. 53 senators. So Donald Trump has 2 years. Yes, he's now going to have to prove himself. He now has the chance to get everything he wants done. Even though that wacko AOC is trying to impeach Clarence Thomas. Listen to this. She's trying to impeach Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito. Are you crazy? She's starting impeachment processes that will cost money. Nobody's ever going. He'll never even get to a vote. But this is a waste of our time. This AOC is an idiot. We've got to get rid of her. She's a laughing stock. She makes New York look stupid. And then, of course, we have Hochul. Here's a wacko that now is, because Trump is in power, she's going to try to bring back congestion pricing, starting at $9 per toll. $9 just to cross over the city. Yesterday, I had to cross the city twice. I'm sure it would have costed me $30. And God forbid I had to go back again, or if I make a U-turn, something's on the bridge, or even you make a mistake. You're looking at $60 on a mistake. I just hope over the next 4 years that God gave us President Trump that, look, he took it away from us. He gave us Trump. Things were getting better. He took it away from us. Hello, Benny. And now he gave us back a gift. Let's use the gift. Let's use the power he gave us. Let's support him. Let's go out there and do good and help others. Let's vote in New York to be Republicans. Here's a story for you. the people, and I support landlords and tenants. I help both sides. I'm a receiver of a building, not once, but a few times. I get called to court. I don't make much money doing it. I'm a 7A receiver, and I don't even want to do it. But I help the tenants with a better life. I help the landlords get their buildings back. I go to court, waste my precious time, which I could be billing out for. And so, when you have to rent an apartment today, it's hard to look for apartments, even though they advertise it, and that's what should be done. There should be a place to advertise it. So now they said that anybody who's a broker cannot get paid to advertise, to help you find an apartment. Now, these broker fees are crazy. They're up to 20% sometimes, which is not right. You got to make a fee, a certain fee. How much is the broker fee? You can't abuse the privileges. So what did the city council do? They took away the privilege of brokers to make money. They took away privilege of brokers to make money. And I agree. They should be charging the landlords finding apartments for the landlords. You shouldn't be charging the tenants for bringing them a client, for bringing them a tenant. When I'm selling my building, I have to pay the commission, not the buyer. Same thing over here. You know what? The Republicans, which I'm ashamed to tell you, voted against it, 5 Republicans. And my city council member voted against it, that the broker should make money. You know why? Because he works for the landlords. He wants the brokers to make money so the landlords don't have to pay. And he was told to do that. Here's a man leaving city council in a month, and he's voting to pass a law to not to screw the people. Not to screw the people who are looking for apartments, who need a place to go. I now had a young girl looking for an apartment. And I was helping a landlord, so I recommended an apartment. She said, "What do I have to pay you?" I said, "Nothing." You shouldn't pay anybody. The landlord should pay me for helping him get a tenant. I know recently now that I got a broker recommended a tenant to me, and the broker asked me for the money. I said, "I hope you're not charging the tenant." He says, "Both sides pay." I said, "That's wrong. I paid. But here it is. We're busy making laws when you should be sitting in investigation on watching the DOB that is going after our communities. They're raising our fines. They're giving frivolous violations. Today I had a guy, like I was telling you before, 3 identical violations, 2008, 2009. I mean, we showed proof. How many times can you win? And my guy tells me today, the client, well, maybe just do nothing, give up. It's just costing me money to go to court. And if I lose, it's going to cost me anyways money. I said, "No, you have to go. It's going to hurt you at the end of the day." And here we go. The Republican senators should have chosen a guy by the name of Rick Scott. He was a friend of Trump, fighter for Trump. We need the Senate to like us so the president can work with the Senate. Instead, they picked Senator John Thorne and the next guy, John Cornyn. I don't understand you. You got to pick the guy that will help us more. They picked somebody so he's not so friendly with Trump. Yeah, they were with Trump, but he's not so good with him. And these are Mitch McConnell boys. Mitch McConnell was one of the worst majority leaders and minority leaders. A man who I don't even know what he was doing there. Just a career politician. Thank God he's going away. The man was just a disruption. He backed Trump. He didn't back Trump. When Trump was in trouble, he stood away. When Trump wasn't in trouble, he comes back. I mean, that's a backstabber if you've ever seen one. Mitch McConnell. These are the people you put in politics. It's a recyclable job. Over here in Brooklyn, a city councilman is going to be now assemblyman. The assemblyman is going to be now the senator. The senator wants to come down to be the councilman. And it's like a musical chairs, and you guys keep voting it. When a new guy should come in, there should be term limits across the board for Senate, for Congress, even for the Supreme Court. Okay, you can't change the Supreme Court judge every 8 years. Change it every 20 years. But it can't be for life. I think it's wrong. Keeping them there at 80 years old, maybe they're brilliant geniuses, but let them go. Oh, you're right. If they leave early, they'll get a board member, so they'll vote certain ways. I don't know. If you're a judge, you have to be honest. You're being watched, especially a Supreme Court judge. Term limits. I know we can change the government every 8 years. It's crazy, but why not? We have professional politicians. We have the musical chairs. So people, it's time to move up. If you're in Congress, you go to the Senate. The Senate could go to the Congress or retire. And I say they shouldn't even be allowed to go again. Term limits means for House and for Senate. If you're in the Congress, you can't go to the Senate. If you're in the Senate, you can't go to the Congress. You can go on to the presidency or you can go to a cabinet position, but you can't go back to the House where you are. Go back to your state. Go run in your state. That's where you came from. Again, I'm going to go back to Tom Homan, the Beau Czar. What a genius. The man sat there as AOC questioned him, and he put him into place. And they asked him, they said, do you know it cost $88 billion to deport all these people? And he says, national security shouldn't have a price. Shouldn't have a price. I mean, what did it cost us just to rebuild the World Trade Center? $1 billion, $2, $3 billion? Forget all the lawsuits and the billions of dollars and the loss of life just for 2, 3 little buildings that went down in a small area of New York, caused so much havoc. Forget all the money and the disruption the United States lost and shut down planes and people couldn't travel and people couldn't work. We've got to be prepared for national security. Yeah, the $88 billion, instead of giving it to Ukraine, give it to us. I want you to know there's a court case going on in New York City called, the gentleman is being put up for, I think, second-degree murder. His name is Jordan Jordan Neely. And the story is simple. There was somebody on the train freaking out who had like 20, 30 arrests, crazy man, comes on the train threatening, screaming, hollering, and people felt that they might even get hit. He stopped him, and he started to choke him. Held him down, really. And at the end, when his body went limp, he died. Now, there was another guy, Gonzalez, who said that he had nothing to do with it. At the end, he admitted, yeah, he joined in and held him down as well, and then they let him go. This Gonzalez lied about his involvement in the thing and lied about what he saw Jordan Neely do from all the time, and what this guy, this man, this crazy man on the train was happening. And here's a man that the family threw on the street, was homeless, did drugs. And now Gonzalez gets full immunity for the same second-degree murder to testify against Jordan Neely. Why didn't you give Jordan Neely the same chance to testify against Gonzalez? We're going through a court case of a man who wanted to protect, the guy was screaming at him, protect himself. And then I saw a story that there was a young teenage girl from the Bronx who felt threatened. She was scared that she was going to get hit. A witness today. I just hope that jury is not stupid like they did to Trump. 34 convictions. And we're going to tell you how he can get out of it. But again, New York City, we're the greatest city in the world. The greatest city in the world. And we're acting crazy. I want to get in there. I want to get into city council, and I'll show you what crazy is. There's a guy by the name of Higseth. He was nominated to be the Secretary of Defense. No political savvy, no professionalism. I don't care. This guy is an Army National Guard veteran. Where he did tours of duty in Iraq, Afghanistan, Guantanamo Bay. He was an infantry officer during his military service. He was awarded 2 Bronze Stars, a combat infantry badge. Now, I love this guy. This guy should be the secretary. We don't need no general. And all the generals are upset. Well, I deserve it. You've been there so many years, guys don't even know what you're doing. We need somebody thinking out of the box. A guy who will show you the right way. A guy who did serve the Army, not sitting in his general position for 20 years. I heard he's a Fox broadcaster too. Now let's talk about the big one. Matt Gaetz. He's the guy who got rid of Congressman McCarthy. He's a guy with fire. He's now going to be the new Department of Justice king man. And yes, he's a Trump man. And already this Senator Collins wants him out. And I spoke about that in the beginning of the show. Why? Why cause him trouble? He's a great lawyer. He's a congressman for many years. He knows what he's doing. He's questioned. He knows how to work the system. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's your question? Because he defended Trump? And she's a Republican, by the way. Just to cause trouble like Liz Cheney. Just so they can be in the papers and show there's somebody important because they weren't chosen. And of course, Matt Gaetz was also investigated for sex trafficking allegations, which was a lie, which is a complete lie in 2020, just because he was already being tough. Here's my best pick. Department of Homeland Security Governor Kristi Noem. She was touted to be a vice president. Heshy, you always make fun of women. Not this one. Not this one. She was governor, and I'm going to read you. She holds a significant weight. Her role as a significant weight for Trump, who campaigned heavily on the issues of immigration, pledging to carry out mass deportation and undocumented immigrants. This lady did not shut down her state during COVID. She was the only one, told everybody, no, we're not shutting it down. She went on, I'm not shutting it down. I'm not forcing you to do the vaccine. This is our woman. She should have been here. Not like Cuomo. Cuomo's brother voted for him as president. Are you an idiot? I mean, you're the only one. Really, he's the only one in the whole world. People wrote my name in for this position, that position. Maybe it was funny. But in the whole country, nobody else chose Cuomo. He's responsible for the murder of thousands of people in the nursing homes. If they're not well, you leave them there. Nursing homes, it's not that they had COVID. It's they were sick and they deserved to be there, and they forced the nursing homes to take them back because people were saying they have COVID and the hospitals were overloaded. So send them back to the nursing homes. Nursing homes didn't take care of their people. And they didn't let the people who actually helped, their visitors, who are relatives, come in to help take care of their parents, so their parents died in the thousands. And then Cuomo underestimates, his whole team underestimates how many died. And he says, this is what the CDC recommended. Are you a dumbbell? You're the governor of New York State. You listen to recommendations, but you actually have to do more research. You have to speak to thousands of doctors or hundreds of doctors. Check out the hotel. Speak to your staff. Trusting Fauci and one other loser? You are a murderer, Mr. Cuomo. You deserve to be punished. God will punish you. You're never going to be mayor of New York City. Never. Never. Secretary of State Mark Rubio. The first Latin Secretary of State or a cabinet officer holder, somebody serious. I like this pick. This is a serious perk. If Rubio is confirmed, he would become the first Latino to ever serve as the nation's top diplomat. Secretary of State is the top diplomat. Oh, Heshy, how is he going to deal with Iran? He hates Iran anyways. How is he going to deal with Israel? How is he going to deal with Ukraine? How is he going to deal? This man is a pro. He was on the Foreign Relations Committee. He knows the world. He ran for president. He was well-versed. Perfect choice. Perfect choice, President Trump, and he's not part of the old machine. Director of National Intelligence. Again, you're going to laugh at me. Tulsi Gabbard, the woman who was a Democrat from Hawaii, and then she turned Republican and she defended. This former Democratic congressman from Hawaii has shifted her political allegiance in recent years, going from candidate for Democratic presidential nominations who made fun of Harris. She's the one who showed you that Harris was an idiot in 2020, to a stalwart Trump supporter and conservative media personality. If confirmed in the role, Gabbard, who criticized American engagements abroad, would oversee all 18 of the nation's intelligence agencies. Thank you. Thank you. She's going to put the FBI in trouble. She'll control the CIA. She will oversee them. And she was a soldier. So I love it. Great pick, President Trump. Great pick. National Security Advisor. His name is Mike Waltz. He will play an integral role in shaping the U.S. policy. He will deal with the conflicts ranging from Ukraine war between Israel and Hamas and in Gaza. He's a former Army Green Beret and is a longtime Trump ally. Agreed, he deserves it. And he's a leading critic of China in Congress. Now, you're going to all scream at me, oh, Heshy, we're going to lift tariffs on China and a lot of other countries. Tariffs are good. Do you understand that they torture us, these other countries? We tariff them back. Lower yours, lower ours. Plus, I believe America is the greatest country. Let us build our stuff here. We can do it cheaper and better here. Even if it's a little bit more money, we'll pay it. Do American. As you know, border czar Tom Homan. I mean, he's the best. He put AOC in his place. And like he said, straight on, I'm going to repeat it again. Is there any price on national security? There's no price. And he's a former police officer and border patrol agent. He worked under 6 presidents during his 3 decades in law enforcement. He was an executive associate director of enforcement and removal operations under ICE under President Obama. During that administration, ICE carried out a record number of deportations. So it's not like he's going to be shocked or he's not like he's going to hurt. He knows how to get it done. And he knows how to do it under Democratic watch. So don't complain that he doesn't know what he's doing. He is the guy who has not only a history of it, he did it both for Republican and Democrat. Let's go. Best one. I said it before, U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee. Nothing to question. Here's a man who believes in Israel. He was a governor, ran for president. Here's the man that I like. Straight out, cool, nice, wonderful man. Thank you, Mr. President, for finally picking somebody that will actually represent America and help Israel grow. And you will, and I know you trust him. EPA Administrator, love this one. Lee Zeldin, who ran for governor and almost won governor. He deserved the spot. He will do a good job and put them in his place. Now, listen to this new position. I love this. I know you're going to freak out, YouTube. I don't care. I want you to, my listeners on the radio, very important position. If anybody's going to listen to me, now is the time. The 2 greatest men are going to be running a unit called the Department of Government Efficiency. Who are they? Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. I love Ramaswamy. When I first saw him running for president, I didn't like that he was running, but again, he never even went bad against Trump. He just said, if Trump can't run or something happens, I'm here. I'm throwing my hat in the ring. And Elon Musk, genius, and they're going to come after him. Musk, as you know, is the CEO of Tesla, and Ramaswamy is an entrepreneur and Republican primary candidate. They've been tapped by Trump to lead what is called the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. Yes, there's a crypto coin called DOGE, and it's flying up. I sold it like an idiot at 12 cents, and now I hear it's 30 cents. It's Trump said that Musk and Ramaswamy will pave the way for his administration to dismantle government bureaucracy, slash excess regulations, cut wasteful expenditures. Wow. And restructure the federal agencies, which he called essential to save America movement. You guys think it's a joke. Let me repeat this to you. They will dismantle government bureaucracy. I don't know how that's possible, but thank God. Slash excess regulations. It's just crazy, the regulations. I wish they come to New York, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to slash all this excess bullshit. You know what I mean? I have plans that I'm in criminal court trying to help somebody. I'm telling the judge I can't get the plans approved, and here's your DOB lawyer screaming at me to get it approved when his own unit has turned me down 4 times. I submitted all the plans in, and you're nitpicking on me. So we can't get this guy out of trouble. Slash excess regulations, cut wasteful expenditures. And you know the billions and the billions of dollars, I would say even more, trillions of wasted expenditures, and restructure federal agencies. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Here's one that I'm interested in. It's interesting. RFK, he told him to go wild on health. Now, RFK are making many pediatricians nervous because RFK is anti-vaccine. He has this rhetoric, and he's a skeptic. Um, some doctors are scared that he's going to stop the vaccine. He's not stopping anything. He's going to question. He wants to see evidence. He wants to see proof. So far, nobody's seen that. We've all asked about it. We're going blindly. Now he wants to say, did you screw us or did you not? And it's not only this vaccine, it's across the board. And I'll tell you, the vaccines have been hurting people. Vaccine usage is down. They're still pitching it. I know the vaccine exists. When I go to my doctor, he'll tell me, stop pitching it to me. You have COVID, take the vaccine or don't, or take an antibiotic. I don't know. I'm a regular guy. I get sick. I don't need no booster shots since then. I don't need any extra shots. I've seen people go crazy. We have to get rid of Hochul. We have to get rid of Hochul. No questions about it, guys. We've got to get rid of Hochul, and please help me. So I'm going to give you a couple of more. You know that J.D. Vance is going to be vice president. I'm going to give you a couple more people that were picked. Treasury hasn't been picked. I told you about defense. Pete had a check, whatever his name is. Mario Rubio. Marco Rubio, I told you will be the Senate. And I told you again, the DOJ will be Mark Getz, who will stop all this garbage once and for all. We have Kristi Noem for Homeland Security. And John Ratcliffe, CIA director. Wonderful guy. I have a write-up on him, too. I think he's great. Susie Wiles. She's going to be the chief of staff. She's the one who helped President Trump get elected. She controlled him somewhat. Was very happy about that. And do I have any more? Of course, told you about Zeldin and Elise Stefanik. I know we're coming to the end of the show. I want to just tell you, President Trump yesterday met President Biden at the White House. And they sat together, and President Biden said, we're going to make this a peaceful transfer of power. Thank God that Harris is not there because she's bitter still. And you saw President Biden smiling, and all the news reporters were laughing like, what's going on here? Why is President Biden so happy? Why is he so cozy to Trump? Trump wasn't cozy to him. I'm telling you now that President Biden is sticking it to the Democrats. You screwed me. You threw me out. I am going to make sure that Trump gets you back big time. I'm going to give him everything across the board. I'm going to tell him what's going on. I'm going to make sure that he comes in here easily, smoothly, and you're not going to have any chance. And you're going to see more press conferences, more fun press conferences, not this press secretary always running away when you ask a hard question. But I saw President Biden smiling. And I'm very proud of that, and I'm happy that Biden is doing the right thing and is doing a nice transfer of power. There was hundreds of women that were formerly incarcerated, and these women are calling on Kathy Hochul and Letitia James and Mayor Adams to publicly commit to ending sexual assaults in prison. It's not only women, it's men too. I'm not talking about the sexual assaults. It's very bad. Okay, and after a year, you can't make a complaint. But it's so bad, these prisons that are run, they have nobody running them, and they're giving jobs to wardens that need the jobs or retirement. Most of these cards don't even know what they're doing. They don't belong there, or they're very vicious or hateful. We're not watching them. We are treating, you're right, some of these prisons have been convicted of serious crimes, but still, we have to treat them in jail like normal people. I mean, some of them do have to be locked up in solitary, but even not all the time. Maybe there's a special area. But again, I don't know what the answer is, but they don't have the answer. They're not doing the job, and they've been doing it for 30, 40, 50 years. They have no idea what they're doing. We need to fix our prison system. We need to fix the sexual harassment and the sexual abuse for both men and women. Before you go away, guys, I want you to hear this. What happens to Donald Trump's felony convictions? So I'm going to give it to you quickly. 5 ways it could go. Trump was convicted of, the 34 counts of falsifying business records for $130,000 in 2016. So Judge Juan Merchant was scheduled to rule on Trump's motion to dismiss this hush money case. because attorney Alvin Bragg revealed they are considering standing down from the criminal case that they won 5 months ago. So Donald Trump's election victory is a pretty profound conundrum. So for the judge overseeing the case, he can go ahead by sentencing the president-elect, or by doing so get in the way of Trump's constitutional responsibility to lead the nation, and he can't do that. Court documents made public reveal that the judge has effectively put the case on hold till November 19th, and he can do it till after he finishes his presidency when he's 82 years old. Then what are you going to do to the man? Trump's sentencing has been tentatively, I heard, scheduled for November 26th. Trump's lawyers are urging him, in the interest of justice, to rip up the verdict. He could do that. Manhattan prosecutors told Merchant they wanted to find a way forward that balanced their competing interests. They could just give him a fine. They can give him probation, and get this over with. But we're not going to. We're going to cause trouble. I want to say goodbye to my listeners at WSNR, WNEW, WJPR. Thank you for listening to the show. I hope I entertained you as well. Most importantly, this judge could dismiss the case. It's not like a murder case, a robbery case, $130,000. So you convicted him. Just dismiss it. You see he's the president. You see 75 million people other than 12 idiot jurors want him to be president to lead the nation. Dismiss it. Some university professor, George Mason, says that whether the case reaches sentencing, it can go either way. If it does, it probably won't lead to a prison sentence, maybe fine, but again, he can appeal it. And whatever. He can appeal it and it might just go away. I want you to know one more thing before we end our show. Brooklyn, the Jews came out voting big time for Trump. Massively. Manhattan, you're all a bunch of loser idiots. Across the board. I mean, I never really wanted to live in Manhattan. I don't really like Manhattan anymore. I'm never going to shop in Manhattan again. Really, I'm not. I don't want to even live there. I'm thinking of never helping anybody who lives in Manhattan, but I know when I'm councilman, I might have to. But really, a bunch of idiots. Every district voted for Harris except for one. And this is the coolest place. Just one district of Manhattan chose Donald Trump over Harris, becoming the first in the borough to vote for a Republican presidential candidate in at least a decade. This solo pro-Trump district of Manhattan composed just one apartment complex, Knickerbocker Village, a majority Chinese American affordable housing development in the two-bridge section of Lower East Side, which voted roughly 51 to 48% for Harris. And they said, we all voted Trump. I even donated to his campaign. The whole district, the whole complex voted, and it beat out the whole neighborhood over there. Very good for you. I'm proud of you, my Chinese American friends. May God bless you. And then we have this idiot that I always told you, Brad Lander. He raised alarm bells Wednesday about President-elect Trump's policies, how it could impact the Big Apple, and warning days late after the election that could be dollar short in New York Democrat primary because we're shifting to the political center. Here's a guy that Ezra Friedlander. He took pictures with Trump. He's taking pictures with Rubio. He's going to try to get in. He's a lobbyist. He brought Hochul to Borough Park. He's actually running around with Brad Landers against Mayor Adams. And he used to kiss Mayor Adams behind. This is a guy who goes every single which way, so we know why, for money. We got to get rid of this guy Friedlander. Something is wrong here. Something smells fishy. Anyways, I had a good week. And again, as I end my show, I'd like to bid a farewell to my good friend, Menachem Wiedemann. You were great to me for 44 years. This is the one guy I never had a fight with. Always called me. Whenever I needed him, he came running. He was a man's man, a lover of children, a lover of people. And if I tell you I'm a fan of man, he's a fan of man. He was a true fan. He loved everybody. He was always worried about everybody. There was, people come to my house all the time. By him, his house was always crowded. always had guests from children to grandchildren to people off the street. If you needed a place to go or eat or sleep, you went to Menachem Wiedemann. And his wife, wow, Toby, she just ran a beautiful home. You delicious the way you ate her food. And she always tried to find out something that you liked, and she had it prepared there. Menachem, I wish you a farewell. I'm going to be by you Saturday night to your family to sit and cry with them. You are a lifetime of that I spent with you. When I met you at 17 till now, my friend Menachem Wiedemann was an angel. And if there was ever an angel on this planet, it was Menachem Wiedemann. Thank you for listening to my show. I want you to play the music. Come again next week, and I'll keep pitching and cranting and screaming and hollering and telling you my update of my campaign finance problems. Play my music, my producers.